upon themselves, so did their sons, and so did their sons many years after them. Sorry, I'm losing my words right now, man. It's ridiculous. It's a demon, man. Salakia. It says, and evils were multiplied upon the earth. And it says, and they came and they came out a wicked root. Or rather more, the point was there, right? It says, and so did their sons many years after them, right? And it says, and evils were multiplied within the earth. Okay, so the scripture says when these group of people will come into power, wickedness abounded, man. Wickedness just run rampant, man. Okay, it's like a house infested full of rats, man. It's just get more rats and more rats and more rats. That's what Esau is. It's just wickedness and wickedness, like cancer, man. Right? You gotta just burn it out. That's what Esau is, man. You just gotta burn it out. And when you read in the scriptures, you're gonna see that really that's what the Most High is gonna do with Esau as his judgment. Okay, we're gonna see that in the book of Obadiah. It's the book of Obadiah. Right, book of Obadiah. I'll go straight to the point, of which the point is round about the 14th verse. Okay, it says Obadiah 1:14. It says, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossways to cut those off which did escape. Okay, so you had a certain persecution that came up upon the Israelites, man, and you had it to where Esau was capturing the ones that had fled from that persecution, saying, look, man, here's this Jake, man, he done escaped. Okay, so he had, even, you know, the Most High had it to where he imparted upon our grievances even when he wasn't the one instigating our grievances, man. It says, for the Lord, furthermore it says, for the day of the Lord is upon all the heathen. Okay, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto you. Just like how the scripture says, it is a righteous thing unto the Most High to recompense them that trouble you. And it says, be not deceived also, the Most High, be not deceived, the Lord is not mocked, right? All that you reap, that you're going to sow that. So you reap up all of this wickedness and death and destruction. You're going to reap death, wickedness, and destruction, man. And this ain't going to be wickedness, it's going to be indignation, man, which is, hey, likened unto the righteous equivalent of wickedness, man. So we're going to impart all of that indignation unto you, right? Okay? So it says here, and it says, and it shall be done unto thee, and it says, and thy reward shall return upon thine own head, and they, for as ye have drank upon my holy mountain, all right, so shall also all the heathens drink, and ye shall swallow down. And says, and they shall ye be also, and says, and they shall be as though they had not been. It says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and they shall be a holiness out of the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. It says, and the house of the house of Jacob shall be a fire. Okay, the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph shall be a flame. So Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and also the native, you know, Latin-speaking tribe, the northern kingdom shall be a flame, man. And then what does it say about Esau? It says, and the house of Esau shall be for stubble. And it says, and they shall kindle them and devour them, and they shall not be any of them remaining out of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So that's the judgment, man. They're going to be burnt, man. Okay? See how much more time we got on this recording, and then, yeah, a little bit left. So let's go to Job 20th chapter, and then, you know, pick out some points in there and call it a day, man. It's Job the 20th chapter. I go to the I touch on a few points here, man. It's Job 20:7. It says, yet shall he perish forever like his own dung. Okay, and they which have seen him shall say, where is he? Okay, and that's also translated as well in Isaiah the 14th chapter on the 12th verse. Let's go to Isaiah the 14th chapter on the 12th verse. Isaiah 14:12, and it says, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, thou son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations? And how did they weaken them? For their military expeditions, all right, and all that. And it says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, Yahweh, and I will sit upon the mountain of the congregations in the sides of the north. and I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I'll be like the Most High. That's what Esau wanted to do with the GMOs and with the genetic engineering and so on and so forth. He wants to be like the Most High. It says, yet that shall be brought down to hell, which is the grave, okay, and to the sides of the pit, and they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider, saying, is this the man that made the whole earth to tremble, and that did shake nations, that made the world as a wilderness? Who goes about making the world a wilderness? Who goes about shaking up these different nations, man? Esau, the so-called white man, which we know as today. And it says, and that made the world as a wilderness, all right, and destroyed the cities thereof, and opened not the house of the prisoners. Because you go back in the time when you had certain prisoners, man, you just have them do, certain job, or you execute the judgment upon them as written within the scriptures, man. Read the scriptures, doesn't talk about prisoners, man. Okay? Let's go back onto Job, the 20th chapter, 8th verse. He shall fly away as a dream, all right? He shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away as the vision of the night. That I also which shall see him no more, neither shall his praise any more behold him. Okay, and let's go to Job, the 18th chapter, and then call it a rap season. A rap there. It's the 18th chapter. Let's go to Job, the 14th chapter, and the 5th verse. Saying, seeing his days are determined, and his numbers are with thee, thou hast appointed his bounds, that he cannot pass. So the Most High has allocated him X amount of days. He can't go a minute above that, man. And we're getting into that time. Okay. I think it's Job 18th chapter 1. Yeah, Job 18:5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, the sparks of his fire shall not shine. Right, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out. The steps of his strength in obtaining that new world order that you Edomites want to obtain, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. So, you got it to where you got the EU, and you got all of these different NATO and all of that, man. The scripture talks about how them that are at peace with thee have laid a snare for thee, man. So all of these different confederacies that Esau has amidst them different nations, man, ultimately they're gonna turn against America, man. All right, they're gonna turn against them, man. The scripture talks about. Okay, so pretty much with that, hopefully that was edifying, man. You're seeing this thing popping off, man. All right, you're seeing America pretty much wants to have a army of a greater number than a million. They're saying that the million man army that they got right now, of which you got 500 standard troops and about 600 of reserves. All right, they're saying that's not enough, man. That's pretty much came up not too long ago, man, on the news. Okay, and that's you're gonna have it to where you're gonna have bilateral warfare, man. So you got it to where their enemies out there in the so-called Middle East and Russia and so on and so forth, they're gonna see that as a threat, and they're gonna start upping up the game, man. And you're just gonna have that to where this World War III that the people that are in right now, which by definition of NATO, right, World War III is occurs when you got three or more nations fighting. So you're in a World War III right now, man. All right, but see, it's gonna just build up and build up and build up, man. All right, it's like a movie, man. This thing's like a movie sometimes, because the Most High has it to where you got slow parts and fast parts. You got it to where you got the finale and so on and so forth. So this finale is being built up, man, and that's what you're having out there in the Middle East, man. Okay, so pretty much with that, I'm gonna say, oh, praise unto Yahweh Shemi Al Shai, double honors to the apostles of GMS, and honors to you brothers that producing this truth in sincerity, man. Shalom.